Hey, what's going on, my YouTube people? Back at you again. Yeah, I know it's been a little bit. I had some people asking about the post. We had some things going on both business wise and as far as the family, man. We kind of been under the weather a little bit, so I haven't been posting, but I'm back at you right now. What? 5HT channel. Back at you again. Yeah. That what stands for World Health Academia and Times. Those are some of the topics that we be discussing on this particular channel here. I want to say thank you to all my viewers that happen to tune in and check us out and sticking with us, being patient with us. But we trying to run through this thing and do it right. I got Kay that's steady perfecting this engineering thing. And it looked like we might be slowly working our way to where we need to be, to where we can satisfy our viewers. Yes. And we say what 5HT, again, those 5 H's is when we have people that don't really want to accept the truth. The first H is the truth hurts. We hear that all the time. Yeah, the truth hurts. And then being that, we know the truth is hard. That's probably one of the reasons it hurts. But ultimately, the truth helps. That's what we're trying to go with this. It actually helps. And being that it helps us, it becomes healthy. And being healthy, then at that point, we can heal. So those 5 H's, that's what you get from what 5HT channel. Like I said, we back at you again. And what I like for you guys to do is when you tune in, like, comment, subscribe, hit your notification button, get that slash off that bell. Make sure that slash is not on that bell. That way you can get every post as soon as we drop the post. That's to all our viewers and the one that's happened to tune in and subscribe, because we want to make sure that you get all this content. So today we're going to talk. Here I go. We're going to talk a little bit about religion. Not a popular topic amongst, especially in our culture. I don't know why, because every other culture, they always discuss the things that they think that's most important in their life. And if you have anything to do with affiliating yourself spiritually, then those are some of the things that needs to be discussed. Because if they don't be discussed, we can get what we call lost in the sauce. That means we can be sold anything. We can be easily misled, easily deceived. Those are the things that we don't want in our life. So what we're going to be talking about tonight is not a popular topic amongst most people. It can cause you to lose friends, family members, and the like. But hey, I'm here for straight accountability, starting with me first. And I just want to talk to, once again, in Bridging the Gap, I'm talking to our baby boomers. Yeah, the baby boomers, the one that's born from 1946 to 1964. I'm talking to my Gen Xers, born 1965 to 1980, which moves us then to our millennials that was born 1981 to 1996. And the one that we deal with heavily today, our Gen Zers, 1997 to 2012. I'm talking to you. I'm coming at you because I've been hearing some stuff. and I want to address some of it. I'm not going to say I'm always qualified in every topic. This might happen to be the one I would kind of halfway consider myself qualified. So I hear a lot of my Gen Zers and my millennials, they oftentimes they use the word "I'm one with the universe." However, I'm pretty sure, like myself, in most cases, they were brought up in the church or the building, which we know as I accept the church is within me and not in a building. And scripture itself even says that. It say that God doesn't dwell in a place or a building made with hands. That's plain. I mean, it's so plain and simple, and it's easily said. And I think it should be easily understood if we accept it for what it's worth. However, I know people like to say, "Well, why would you be coming to us with such a topic?" And I just want to say, how was it made possible that one was first led to Christianity? Now we chase from Christianity to being one with the universe. Two vast topics. I want to talk about the Christianity part, and I'll need my millennials and Gen Zers sometime to kind of help me understand this one with the universe. I think I kind of get it. I think I do, especially when it comes to spirituality. I think I get it, but I just want to have clarity, and that's what we need now, clarity. Now, to my baby boomers and my Gen Xers, when we were a child, whatever our parents told us, that's what we believed, and that's what we rolled with. We didn't question them a lot. Like I said before, I was speaking, I said that we sometimes could ask questions, but if we ask too many questions or the wrong question, then it would be told to us, "You minding grown folks' business now." And I know I've heard that before. I'm pretty sure some of you've heard it before, especially if you're a baby boomer and a Gen Xer. You're minding grown folks' business. So we respected that and we shut our mouth. So we didn't go further with asking questions. However, now we got these millennials and these Gen Zers. You can't tell them that. Because when they come to you with questions, they looking for an answer. And in most cases, if they done asked you the question, they already researched the answer. They just want to see what you have to say. They want to trust in you. That's why they ask, especially if you a mentor or a parent or whatever you might be, wherever you find yourself. They looking for clarity. And if you can't get them clarity, then they tend not to believe too much of nothing that you might say moving forward. So I want to talk about Christianity for a minute. And yeah, Christianity was brought to us by who we would call the slave master. I can just walk us through it, but you know how they go. I was told by my mother was told by her mother was told by her mother, and then eventually we're gonna get to a place where who actually told who what. And if we go back far enough, then we'll understand who actually told and taught Christianity, the word that's only used 3 times in the Bible. And in each case, it wasn't basically in a good saying. It wasn't just really categorizing you to be this great, wonderful person. It was more taunting you and calling you a fool or crazy or a lunatic. And I can go on with all kind of words. Paul even said it once. He said, "Don't be ashamed if they call you a Christian." So why would he say that? Don't be ashamed if they call you a Christian, especially if it was a good thing. No, at that particular time, it was a pretty bad thing. Yeah. And it also said that they were first called Christians in Corinth. And if we know anything about that, that's in the Grecian Empire, which is totally eliminated from what we read today. Those who do still study and read the scriptures. I want to make something clear about the scriptures. Sometimes not sometimes, most cases, we actually misinterpret what the scripture is saying. Because in times when we take it so literally, it should be looked at as a book of parables. And also, we can look at it allegorically. What am I saying when I use the word allegorically? Well, we know Jesus used parables. They think that Jesus was the only one that used parables. But let me reassure you. Let me let you in on a secret. Parables was used throughout the scriptures. From prophets, you can find it riddle through the Psalms. You can find it riddle all through the prophets. They spoke in parables. And the reason they spoke in parables is because the people didn't quite understand spirituality at that particular time. So they had to use something that you can relate to. For instance, the Most High always use him being the husband and the people being his bride. And he was comparing it so you can see this marital relationship. And in most marriages, a lot of people are like, yeah, I've been married for 50 years and we've been happily married for 50 years. Well, I've talked to people, and the honest people, and they say, yeah, we've been married 50 years, but we've been happily married for 15 years. So 35 of the years was mostly a struggle. So the Most High was showing his struggles with us. So he spoke in parables so we can understand better and learn how to apply it spiritually. So allegorically, it is allegorical saying is it's like having a hidden spiritual meaning that transcends the literal sense of a sacred text. I'm gonna say that one more time. Allegorical is having hidden spiritual meaning that transcends the literal sense of a sacred text. Did you get that? It's hidden. It's a spiritual meaning. And it transcends literally what is trying to say. That's to get you and help you understand. That's like making a comparison. And a lot of times we use comparison. So I want to talk about something. You see, the reason I feel that most of our millennials and most of our Zers don't quite trust Scripture is because of the misinterpretation of it. You want to take everything literal. Jesus said a parable. I'm using the word Jesus, but the letter J, like I said, is roughly 500 years old. So if it came out of his mouth, then his name wasn't Jesus at that time. If the J was just invented, it was translated or from Latin. His actual name is Yahshua. Some people call him Yahushai. So you notice the J has this Y sound. So now we dating back because actually Jesus and Yeshua is two different things. Yeshua, Hebrew meaning is salvation. Get it? Yeshua, Hebrew meaning is salvation. So we want to say we want to see how we got to this. Prior to Yeshua, his teachings to the apostles, we had what you call believers. Wasn't any Christians. Jesus never called himself a Christian. So the apostolic church. That's what it was. The movement was the Apostolic Church. They were oftentimes being crucified, punished by the Roman Empire, because they were enemies of the state, until we ran across this guy called Constantine in the year 325 AD. Yeshua is far gone. All the apostles, disciples, whatever you, all of them gone. And the Apostolic Church continued to live underground because they was being punished for their beliefs, because the Romans had their beliefs, and it was not going to supersede what the Romans believed. Constantine said he had some kind of experience during one of his wonderful wars, as usual. And he said he saw this cross in the sky. So for that reason, he felt like he needed to convert. And his conversion was to the apostolic, or the Jew, or the belief that at that particular time the Jews had and they celebrated. Constantine was an emperor of Rome. He wanted to go down as being one of the greatest emperors that Rome ever had. He wanted to enlarge in his empire. So he decided that he would make what he called Christianity, that originated from the Council of Nicaea. The Council of Nicaea was held in 325 CE, where Constantine had roughly 220 bishops come together and decide what was going to go in the scriptures and what was going to be left out. That's how you get books that's excluded. And then he also deemed it and coined the word Christianity. So he said the Roman Empire will now become a Christian empire. He had to make amends with the Roman citizens, because the Roman citizens now, they would have pushback, because there's no way that you're going to change what we do as far as celebrating different holidays and festivals and take it all away from us. So Constantine, smartly, a wise, clever man at that particular time, he said, I tell you what I do. What we'll do is, I'm going to get this apostolic belief, which I'm now going to deem Christian or Christianity, and I'll marry it in with our usual celebrations and pagan worshiping. And the first thing he did, the one holiday he did not want to take away from them. It was a couple, but we're going to deal with this one holiday. Now, remember, I'm telling you now, this is not going to be popular with you. People lose friends and family members over this. And I want to remind you of something. All conflict ain't bad conflict. We have to deal with it on the front end. You know, no man wake up and decide he just want to do right. God has to draw him. You remember that. So this might be conflicting, but all conflict is not bad conflict. Let's deal with this. He decided that he would get those bishops to sign off on something. And it was deemed the Nicene Creed at the Council of Nicaea. And one of the holidays he really wanted to deal with was a big holiday. This holiday was called Saturnalia. A lot of Christians have never heard of that. I'm more than sure. A lot of Christians never heard the word Saturnalia. I'm more than certain of that. Never heard the word Saturnalia. Well, it was one of the Romans' greatest holidays. But I want you to listen to something. I want you to listen to this clip, and then we're going to talk a little bit after you listen to this clip, okay? We're going to talk a little bit after you listen to it.
1 week before the winter solstice, Romans began celebrating Saturnalia. Some people say it started as a single day. Other people now think that it lasted a full month. It may have only been a week. And it was named after the god Saturn, which actually means plenty. And part of this celebration was the tradition of turning the social order completely upside down. It was a festival of misrule where masters served their servants and their clothes were worn inside out or back to front. People would be drinking wine and half nude when normally we might be arrested for that. All things, you could do all things you wanted to and nobody was going to say anything. It was a big debauchery party was what it was.
Okay. What do you think? I didn't say it. And then we see who said it now. Look who that came from. It didn't come from someone that looked like me. It didn't come from anyone that looked like me. So now we know what Saturnalia is mostly about. They did all these celebration. And one of the the last day it would actually land on was December the 25th. Does that sound familiar? December the 25th. So this was chosen to celebrate Christ's birthday to conform to the old pagan Roman holiday. Sure, it was called Saturnalia. And these holidays around the time of the shortest days of the year, which called the winter solstice. And we can go on. Have you ever heard of Yule tiding? That was a Germanic festival. It was also pagan. I can keep going with this and tying all this in. Why am I saying this? I'm going to tell you why I'm saying it. Because I have millennials and Gen Zers that have challenged this all day long. And the question is asked, so why do we celebrate this holiday? And we really know that he wasn't born on this day. And I'm going to tell you the answer I've gotten all the time. It's like, well, that's the day we chose. So my thing is the same thing the millennials or our Gen Zers, the question to be asked, who are we? So let's start. Okay, we'll say, well, my mother told me. Yes. And then we'll say, well, her mother told her. Yes. And then we'll say, well, her mother told her. And we'll keep going back. And like I said, we go far enough backwards, we'll find out who the we really were. And we know now that we were the Roman Empire. They the one decided that he was born December the 25th. They decided he was born December the 25th. And let me tell you something, all those celebrations, it definitely lines up with what they were doing. And a lot of that stuff was really bad. So now we say we celebrating Jesus' birthday on December the 25th, which he really wasn't born, or are we actually celebrating Saturnalia, which is a pagan holiday? You know, Saturn, Santa, Satan. I'm tying all those in together. Saturn, Santa, Satan. I know that. Oh man, I'm gonna get beat up for this, but guess what? Accountability has to start somewhere. I don't mind it starting with me. I'll fall on the sword. I'll fall on the sword, especially for these Gen Zers and these millennials that ask these questions and no one has the answers. You gotta have answers. And the answers need to be on point. Because we got this thing before us now. This right here, You can get all kind of information. Well, we wasn't given the information then. Now, let me make something real clear to my millennials and my Gen Zers. I would never say that my mother or my grandmother or even her mother intentionally drove this and pushed this thing. They were taught it. They had no knowledge of it. Everything was stripped away from them anyway. They had no knowledge. They just felt that it was a good thing to be doing. Somebody would say, well, why is it bad to give gifts? Huh? What do you think about that one? Kay, what do you think about that? Why is it bad to give gifts or celebrate family and all that? What's bad about that? What you think?
Like involving the holiday aspect of it, it's pagan. Now, it's nothing wrong with gifting your loved ones, but it doesn't have to be on that particular day, per se. You can show your love any day of the year, basically.
Yeah, I agree. I agree 100% right at this point, right here now. And that was well said because now I'm going to say something to the millennials and the Gen Zers, the one that always discover all this new stuff, right? The one that's one with the universe and they discover the new stuff. You know what I'm saying? They discover all these new things. And yet and still, if I go to a store a week before, 2 weeks before, what about Black Friday? All of that. They push back on saying that why they say he was born on December 25th, but yet and still I see millennials and Gen Zers doing the same celebration. So you can't have it both ways. You got to figure this thing out. Or you're going to be one with the universe. Which one you going to do? You're going to be one with the universe, or you're going to talk against the Christianity and the birth of Jesus, but yet you still going to push and celebrate it. I heard somebody say, well, what if we just celebrated on another day? I'm like, well, what does it has to do with anything? I mean, if you're going to, even if you chose another day, you still doing the same type of worship. Now with us, we always discuss like, what you do is you gift your family any day, throughout the year, anytime, at the moment. But when you pick that one day, you setting it aside for something. Mm-hmm. When you pick that one day, you setting it aside for something, right? Don't you think so, okay?
Right, absolutely.
So when you pick that one day, you setting it aside for something. Now I'm gonna tell you something. It's a lot going on with this, and especially with this one with the universe. And like I say, when kids, you can raise them in the building, at church. You can raise them in there. But I guarantee you, the majority of them, the moment they get 18, they vacate it. Because this is what I want to say to the Christian population. And read that book. Study that book. Oh, I've read it. I read it 3 or 4 times. That's the problem. You just read it 3 or 4 times. When you dissected and studied it, when have you looked at it? Do you know any Hebrew meanings? Do you know any Hebrew meanings of any word? Because it was written to a people thousands of years ago. Words meant different things than it does now. Do you know any of that? Do you know any of those words? Do you know some of the words that's been changed? It's a lot of words been changed. I tell you what, they fighting to change the word woman. They don't even want to use the word woman no more. They don't even want to accept how we can classify a woman or a man. So they want to get rid of these words. For what? Why? Ask yourself the question. The same people. Caesar. Like I say, if you send your child to be taught by Caesar, You should not be surprised if they come home acting like Romans. And then in acting like Romans, they pretty much going to do what Romans do. If you thought the Romans was a terrible empire, do you think they went around controlling, seizing power, pushing their beliefs off on people? Then maybe your child might do the same thing. You learn with the teacher. Be responsible. Have accountability. And quit saying, well, my mama did it. Okay, that's fine. Well, my great, 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 great grandparents probably were slaves. So since they were slaves, should I be one? They did it. Should I? Huh? I'm just asking a question. I don't know. And then for the Gen Zers and the millennials, being at one with the universe, do you actually understand what you are saying? Because that's a spiritual thing also. The universe is in harmony. It's alive, and it's been created by a supreme being, divine, divinity. It's in harmony. I'm going to show you how I know. Because the stars does what they're supposed to do. The sun does what it's supposed to do. The trees does what they're supposed to do. And I can go on and on. The animals, the fish, the insects, all in harmony. One with the universe. How can you be one with the universe and hate your brother? How can you be one with the universe and hate your mother? I'm just asking questions. Comment, tell me, help me understand. Because, see, I'm asking questions now. See, I just went somewhere. I just put myself on the line about Christianity, Christmas, and all of that. I just put myself on the line. Now, you tell me about the one with the universe. But here's the deal. Be accurate. Know your sources. And be able to back up what you say. Because most people that go to the building or go to the church, they go and get preached at. I can ask them of one scripture, and they probably wouldn't even be able to tell me where it's located. Not saying that you should remember it, but when you study to show yourself approval, proving that thing which is right, and then Paul says something in Romans 12 and 2. He said something. He said, be not conformed to this world, but be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind, that ye may prove what is that good and responsible and perfect will of God. The Christ, that spirit that teaches and dwell in and help us to understand the real essence of God. Jesus, Yahshua, baptized, the Spirit of God descending on him as a dove. Why did he have to have it? The Spirit led him into the wilderness. Why did the Spirit have to lead him in the wilderness? To be tempted. What? I'm just asking a question. They say, well, then why do you study reading out of the book? Oh, I'm going to keep reading out of the book because I can tell you one thing. If you translate this the way it's supposed to be translated, you'll get way more out of it than you'll ever expect. Way more than you'll ever expect. Once you realize that it's parabolic, meaning that oftentimes spoken in parables, and it's allegorical comparisons. Remember, it's that hidden thing that transcends the literal. That's what it is. That's what it is. I was thinking of a DMX quote, he said something. He said, to live is to survive, right? Then, no, here we go. Get this right. He said to live is to struggle. To live is to struggle. And then he said, to survive is to understand the meaning in the struggle. One more time. To live is to struggle. But to survive is to understand the meaning in the struggle. And this is a struggle. Do you understand the meaning in it? I'm asking another question. That was posed from a rapper that was crying out. No one wanted to hear. I got a whole lot out of that. And we can get a whole lot out of people that we all oftentimes want to throw in the trash. Now, let me tell you one more thing about this Roman rule, and by them coming together at the Nicene Council, and then come up with this Nicene Creed at the Council of Nicaea, and coming up with this Nicene Creed, which they themselves wrote and decided it had nothing to do with the Apostolic Church. Nothing. Absolutely nothing. Caesar just wanted to be a powerful man by bringing the empire together with those that he once persecuted, which was the Apostolic Church, with his Roman citizens, but he politically figured out how to satisfy them both. And at the same time, he also made sure that the Apostolic Church quit and do away with the Sabbath, which fell on the seventh day of the week. You often hear me say, when I post, especially on TikTok, I might say something like, yeah, it's Tuesday, right? The third day of the week. Yeah, I said it. Huh? It's Wednesday, the fourth day of the week. Yeah, I said it. I say it's Sunday, the first day of the week. Yeah, I said it. They took it away. And how much more did they take away? I'm asking the Christian community, please, please dissect that word. Quit accepting the norm, just defending it. I said something else. I said those Gen Zers, the one that decide that they want to disassociate with family and adopt these gang members and go in with someone that they feel accepting them and become gang members. Remember, I said something. I said they willing to die for it. Yes. Are you willing to die for the truth? Or did you just go along to get along? The Catholic Church runs the Christian community. The Catholic Church, the universal church, they have declared and decreed that they are the universal church. Some of this that I'm dropping on you, I'm going to let you do your own research. I want to see just how much it concerns you. I want to see just how much it means to you. Do your own research. Sometimes it's not even good for the teacher to always give all the answers, right? What do the teachers say? Sometimes, Kay, what does the teacher say? Does the teacher always give all the answers, or the teacher say, go home and study?
I always study,
Study,
research.
right? And when you go home and you study and you research and you come back and you take the test, you're more equipped to pass it. But if you just go along to get along, you can be a part of that group. There was Bush Jr., No Child Left Behind. Regardless of whether you know or not, we just gonna pass you on. So by the time you get to the end, you won't know nothing. Only what I allow you to know. This is not a good topic. If I lose some people, so be it. So did Yahshua. Yeah, that's right. I was asked another question, and this is another question that it probably doesn't matter to people. They'll always say, well, that ain't the point. That's the easy answer all the time, though. That's not the point. You should look at this. Because, you have people inquisitive, and they be like, well, you hear about Jesus until he was 12. We know when he was a kid, we know that Mary and Joseph had to flee to Egypt so they can blend in. I don't know how you go and blend in with a bunch of Europeans if you're not European, but go to Egypt. Yeah, we don't want to deal with it. It's all right. But we got that European man that we look at every day. It's cool. I'm all right. That ain't the point, though. It ain't the point. Well, sometimes people want a sense of belonging. If it wasn't the point, then why did they change it? If it didn't mean a lot to a certain group of people, then why would it change? How come they couldn't just leave it like it was? Just leave it like it is, huh? No, I'm going to make it fit me. You want to have a sense of belonging. And that's what our Gen Zers and our millennials, they need a sense of belonging. They don't belong to nothing, it seems like. As far as you can go back, it's like, well, we was brought here from Africa. Okay. The end of that story. And then the Africans say, you are not African. So now, one set said we was brought from Africa, and then the other set said, you are not African. So here we are, lost people. Oh, yeah. A lost tribe. Somebody came out of the lost tribe of Israel, a lost tribe, having no knowledge of who they are, where they came from. Wow. This is not popular, Kay. You think I might get unfriend?
No.
Well,
Real and relatable.
okay. Now, I'm not gonna let you get away from me, millennials and Gen Zers, especially the one that's Egyptology and the one that one with the universe. I'm not gonna let you get away. Tell me what it's about. Hey, influence me. Tell me, influence me. Like I said, I was heard that it's great to be an influence. If you have the gift of influence or persuading, and you've been gifted with that, it's great to be that. It turns to a problem when influence becomes manipulation. That's when it's a problem. So a lot of stuff been manipulated, tampered with. When I read of one of the books that I do really study, and I study a host of books, and I do, and I read history and time. Remember, we're dealing with world, right? World and time. But when I deal with history and time, and they got all these time frames, I'm talking about in scripture now. Yeah, I'm going to stick with that for right now because I told you I wasn't going to talk about it. So when I think about time frames, right? Now here we go. We get to a book that's called Malachi. Everybody know about the book of Malachi. Will a man rob God? Yes, he will. You rob me in tithes and offerings. Who were the tithes and offerings for? Who was he talking to when he said, yes, you will, you rob me in tithes and offering? Was he talking to the people, or was he talking to the people that was in charge of the temple at that time, and the temple being the body? Okay, I'm just saying, from Malachi to Matthew's, you almost got a 300-year gap. Yeah, okay. You got almost a 300-year gap. Now, the school that I went to, I was taught that during that 300-year gap from Malachi, which is the Old Testament, the ending of the Old Testament in the Scripture, and then the beginning of the New Testament, which is Matthew, is a gap of about 300 years. Here we go again. How come we always have to bridge this gap? Like you and I right now trying to bridge the gap between the boomers and Xers and the millennials and the Zers. We trying to bridge the gap. Now here go this 300-year gap. Now let me tell you what I was taught and what I was told in this Presbyterian school, where I happened to acquire a degree in biblical studies. This is what I was told. And, well, we call that the intertestamental period. The intertestamental period. That was a period when God was so angry with man that he just quit talking to him. And the only man he talked to from Malachi was John the Baptist. From Malachi to John the Baptist, God wasn't even talking to man. Ooh-wee. He was mad. Imagine being in the house with your spouse and you quit talking to them for 3 weeks or 3 months or 3 years. That's got divorce written all over it. That has divorce written all over it. Another lie. There was not a gap. What is taken out is the Grecian Empire. The Grecian Empire, which holds the Apocrypha, 14 books. The Grecian Empire was taken out, and boy, was it taken out for a reason. So here we go again. That's why we're so lost and confused. Whenever you can't bridge the gap, you get confusion. And we can't bridge the gap right now with our boomers and our X's and our millennials and our Gen Zers. So we can't bridge the gap. So what do we have? What do we have? Okay. Confusion, chaos, self-hatred. I hate everybody, but I want to win the universe. Yeah.
Heavy on confusion.
Heavy on the confusion. Oh, no. He wasn't born on December the 25th. Man, I got to go get the presents for these kids.
We not sure.
Oh, yeah, we know the truth, man. We know the truth, but we just do it because it's for the kids. No, quit lying on the kids all the time. Everything is for the kids. I heard a man say one time, this is just one of my little slickies I have to slip in for you. The man said he was walking by the church, right? And Kay, he said he saw the devil sitting on the front porch of the church, the building, right? And he was just crying. And the man said, "What's wrong with you?" He asked the devil, "What's wrong with you?" And the devil said, "Man, I've just been sitting here for the last hour, man. And I just been listening to them in there, man." He said, "Man, those people in there lying on me so much, man." He said, "Some of that stuff they talking about, I ain't have nothing to do with it." That's what the devil said. They in there lying on me, man. Some of that stuff they said I did, I ain't have nothing to do with that. Oh yeah, I just said that. Just you know, that's just for a free throw in it. But anyway, let's get this thing right, man. At the Council of Nicaea, the Nicene Creed was put together by 220 bishops, signed off on by 200 bishops of what they was going to decide to teach. Yeah, it's riddle. It's like the serpent with the forked tongue. That means Lies mixed in with the truth. Lies mixed in with the truth. You need to be able to figure out how to dissect and come out with truth. The serpent represent in the garden, forked tongue. I was telling Kay, we used to watch this series, The Lone Rangers, and then Tonto used to be on there, and he used to always say, white man speak with forked tongue. And I never understood what he was talking about when I was a kid, but I get it now. He said, white man speak with forked tongue. He didn't trust him, because in other words, they'll tell you something and then go back on it. So you don't know when they lying and you don't know when they telling the truth. But you know us, lie to us, deceive us. We want the lies. We don't want no truth. I look at TikTok, man. They love lies, man. People love lies. I just can't feed it to you. That's not what we about. So I just wanted to come to you, and I wanted to come at you. But you heard that guy say what Saturnalia was about. And if that doesn't sound like the celebration that we do on December the 25th, the day that Jesus was born, the day that Jesus was not born, the day he was said to be born, whichever, it don't matter. I'm all confused anyway. Yeah. But at the end of the day, I'm all confused anyway. He was born on December 25th or he don't. It don't really matter, but we can celebrate it. No, we don't have to celebrate it. No, it's for the children. What? Make your mind up. Make your mind up. It was hard for me in that school. I be talking to Kay about it. That school taught me a lot. It was hard in there, but I was glad that I listened, because what they mostly taught me was about themselves. I had about 4 or 5 European history classes, and a lot of my classmates were so upset. How come we always getting European history? We want some African history. No, how about this? We want some African American history. Now, we want some Negro history. Give us some color folk stuff, man. I'm telling you. And I would tell them, look, bro, you in the wrong school for that. We're in a Presbyterian school. You're not, you know what I'm saying? You're not going to get no African history up in here. So what I did was I listened to the European history and I dove into it, and boy, was I so happy, because the one thing I can say is they literally taught me their history. It changed my mind about a whole lot. I had to struggle in that school. I had to do the work to pass, though. I could have just dropped out, but I said no. I had to do the work to pass. Whatever they asked me on the test, I had to give them back what they gave me. But trust me, I knew what to believe and what not to believe. The Catholic, the universal church, every church, every building, whether you're a Protestant or a Catholic, you're coming up under the Catholic Universal Church Creed. Check your charters out. Check your 501c3 out. They tell you what you can say and what you can't say in there. Just like the slave master told the black preacher what to say to his people. We gonna make it good for you, boy. But you get out there and this what you tell them. And then how I'm gonna know what you tell them? Because you gonna preach off the front porch. And me and the mistress and my family, we gonna sit on the porch and listen to that sermon. Because you gonna tell them what I told you to tell them. So, Gen Zers, millennials, come on, man. Keep it real. We was taught what they were taught. We were taught what they were taught. So don't fault us. Don't throw us in the trash can. If you want to help, help. But if you want to come with you one with the universe, you better be one with the universe. Because the universe is in obedience to its creator. That's what the universe is. Don't come up with all these fancy sayings and you don't know nothing about it. That's no different than what you saying about the people that go to that building or the Christians. You think they talk about something they don't know nothing about. Well, don't bring me something new that you don't know nothing about. At least know about it. Challenge me. Come on. Weigh it up. Let's do it. I'm just saying. Anyway, I'm going to close this out. I appreciate you all tonight for lending me your ear on this What 5 HT channel where we talk about world health, academia, and times, and we mixed all that in together. And you say, where did the health part come in? Well, the health is the truth. It makes you healthy. It's for your body. It's for your spiritual growth. It's for your emotional growth. It's for your mental growth. Come on. Even your social growth. It teaches you how to get along with your neighbors next door. Even if you didn't believe the book, but I can tell you one thing, it has so many principles in it that if you live by it, I guarantee your life will be better. Okay, yeah, a lot of it's been misinterpreted. Fine and dandy. And don't come to me with the white man book either, because we didn't had that conversation before. Why do you think you speak English? The white man taught you. Quit speaking English then. Find your dialect. Find your native tongue. Speak it to me. Okay. I think we got that good enough. Everybody got a little bit. Huh? Everybody got a little bit. Kay and I, we going to hold ourselves responsible. We're going to stay responsible. We're going to keep coming at you. We're going to keep coming at you with truth. What 5HT channel, man. When you tune in, you hit subscribe, comment, like, hit that notification button. I need you to comment. Yeah, because I know a lot of people ain't going to like this one. That's fine with me. But any place you think you can help me, give it to me. And if I just lied tonight, then you make sure you do your research and you bring it back to me and tell me anything that I said was out of order. Do that for me. Because I don't mind. I'm searching myself. But I thank you. We did religion tonight. I read you one verse of scripture. I did quote a couple of more. But I tell you what, it's all in love. And on that note, Kay and I are going to say to you, check us out on our next post. Kay, you got anything you want to say?
Just, thanks for checking us out and we look forward to growing together.
Well said. Yeah, we're going to grow together. All you got to do is keep tuning in. Like I say, looking for you on the next time. Maybe we won't take so long to post. Think about what I said, marinate on it. And all this can do for all of us is help us, like Kay say, grow together. Hey, you know what we say, what the flux. I'm out.